Alrighty, so I think we are going to go ahead and start with our agenda for today. So this month we are going to be focusing on the Campus Compass for our Tech Talk, and Mark is going to be the presenter for that. Then we are going to be moving on to our live Q&A session. We'll take questions about the Campus Compass and Mark's presentation first, and then we'll move on to general academia questions. And then finally, we will have our user spotlight, which I have to call to make sure she is able to get in. We spoke earlier today, but that is going to be Clarissa Martinez from Temple College. And before I hand things over to Mark, I do want to have a brief bit of housekeeping about our upcoming keynote session. Our next session is going to be on Thursday, February 6th at 1 o'clock Eastern, and our speaker is going to be Megan Burgundy. And as always, these sessions are free to register for, but spots are limited, so we recommend signing up as early as possible. And I have pasted the link to register in the chat. Please feel free to sign up for that session. Again, that's going to be February 6th at 1 o'clock Eastern, and the topic is going to be making tutor observations more inclusive. And you can click on the link to learn a little bit more about what that session will cover. So now, oh, and I also want to mention that we have opened up proposals for our upcoming conference. We are going to be hosting a professional development / academia training conference this October here near our company headquarters in Orlando. So that is going to be in October, and we are currently accepting proposals for that. We just sent out an announcement for it. So if you are interested in potentially presenting, we do offer a 50% discount for anybody who presents at the conference, and I'm putting the link in the chat for that. And then I'm also going to go ahead and paste the link if you're interested in just registering as an attendee. We currently do have an early bird registration link as well. So I'm going to go ahead and paste that in the chat as well. Last year's conference was really successful. We had a lot of really great speakers, and we're looking forward to a great 2025 event as well. We are going to be making hopefully an announcement soon about our keynote for that. And of course, we're looking forward to have lots of great breakout sessions and other fun things to do. Like we'll have an excursion, and it's going to be a really nice time. All right, so without further ado, I am going to go ahead and hand things over to Mark for the Tech Talk.
Thank you, Rachel. And I see we got one more member here, so we're going to let them in. Welcome in. So today we're going to be covering the Campus Compass in academia. So what this is going to allow is, if we go on to our next slide here, there's two different views for the Campus Compass. First, we're going to have the admin view, which is going to really be the settings to kind of set this up so that your students are able to see these selections that we're going to be creating today. So first, kind of what admins are able to do, we're able to create items that students are going to be able to kind of, pick, and maybe they resonate with them based on what help they're trying to receive. Once we create those items, we can then associate the services that would then help the students with that selection that they've made. So we may have, one or two services, or maybe even multiple that we could redirect them to, and we'd associate those services. And then next is going to be the order selection. We can actually change the order in which these selections show. So you might have something that's more important and you want that to show at the very top. Maybe it's something that, students are asking most frequently. So we might want to, order those a specific way. So kind of, jumping over, we're going to jump out of our PowerPoint here. I'm going to open up some of our windows I've got here. I've got my student view and my admin view. So if we jump in here, you could see that we had the pathing for the Campus Compass, which was that administration under the campus setup. And then we can get to our Campus Compass as an admin. Once we get in here, you can see I've already got some items built out. I like to use questions because it kind of, helps them if they're asking a question. That's maybe the question that the student is asking. So you can see some of these are like, I've got some set up for walk-ins, virtual appointments, if they need advising help. What we're going to do is I'm going to go through the process of creating a new item with you guys. So we're going to want to give it a name. So For this one, let's just say we're going to be looking for appointments in general, because we've already got one for virtual, so this may be any appointment that we're looking for. And this is just a description to give you guys an idea, and maybe the student it's going to show below when we're on the campus compass, looking for all appointment types. And now that we've got that selected, those are our two things that are going to show on that button. We can then select our order here. So it's going to default to the next one that's in the slots. So I'm going to put this as our number one, and we may have to just reorder some other ones, but we're going to try and get this one showing first for us today. And then the last part is selecting an icon. So this is going to be the icon that shows next to our selection that we're creating. So you might want to use one that kind of, fits what the question is. So for appointments, I'm going to say maybe it's the two people that are meeting. And next we have our tab up here, which is our services. This is where we're going to want to associate all the services that would eventually help the student with, the selection they've made. So I've got my advising center appointments. Those would probably work. We're going to skip over our walk-ins. And maybe they're just looking for appointments at all of our centers, so I'm going to include our math and science centers as well. Now, let's say you were looking for, a selection with just one center. You could then customize these options to where you could have it to be just your advising center or just, maybe a tutoring center. So now that I have all of my selections here, we can save. And you guys will see that it actually went up as our first one because we set that order to 1. So now that we've created a, selection here, the only options that you get are to delete them afterwards. So if you ever needed to, recreate these or, reorder them, you may not even need one anymore and you could delete it as well. So now what we're going to do is we're going to jump into our student view. So if I go over into our home page here, we're signed in as a student. And where the students are going to see this is if they click under the campus selection here, we have the campus compass. And this is going to show all of our selections that we've created. And you guys can see that the icon shows right here. So we've got our two people. Here's our question of looking for an appointment. And then the description that we all saw that I put in. So it's looking for all appointment types. So if you guys wanted to maybe include any important information, you could do this so there. But now once I click on this as a student, because maybe this is the selection that I'm looking for, it's actually going to give me all of the services that we associated. Oh, and I may have accidentally clicked some of our walk-ins there, so we could always, edit those with our admin view going back. Just take those off real quick, because we want only appointments to show. So jumping back into our student view, let's refresh that page. You guys can see now only appointments are showing because that's what we've associated as those four for the appointment types. So now once I click on one of these view locations, I can actually see that it's showing me where this is at. So it's at the advising center and I can make an appointment, and that's going to directly bring me to the appointment creation for the student. And it actually is going to fill in the service as well because it's, going based off of the service that we've associated with that selection. And then once here, they can go ahead and go through their appointment process and complete their appointment from the Campus Compass. And any of those appointments that they create are also going to show on the homepage under their upcoming appointments, similar as if they created it through, the centers and appointments, new appointment. So it is a little bit of a shorter one today, but I definitely wanted to open it up to any questions that you guys may have on the Campus Compass.
All right,
Let's swap
thanks,
those.
Mark. Anybody have any questions, excuse me, about the Campus Compass? You can feel free to unmute your mic or put that in the chat at this time. So we have one question. In the Campus Compass, does the service selection group them if they have the same exact name to show all locations?
Yeah, so it's actually going to allow you to just view locations, and that's when it would show your two different centers there. So jumping back, We want to go under the student view into that campus compass. But when you have the, you know, if I had had these under the same name, we could actually, view locations, and then we'd have our advising center, and then it would show the other one with make appointment there. And I don't know if there's any general questions. If so, we can always have those go into the chat.
Yep, I think we're good and we can answer those privately. And of course, you're also always free to email those to support or to myself, Rachel C. at Engineerica.com.